Hello and welcome to a Sophisticated Pairs video blog. Today I am reviewing the Sculptress by Panache Siren Plunge bra, which is one of their newer offerings. So when Sculptress originally came out, I gave them a little bit of grief, but in the last 18 months they have been killing it, both in terms of just some of the new patterns and designs that they've been putting out, as well as new styles like Siren. And I have to give a shout out to my rep for recommending this to me because I am in love with this bra. It is amazing. But let's get started. First, sometimes with Sculptress, because it's their plus size line, they only start at a 36 band, and I need a 34. And in some of the cases that I've done reviews, I've had to size up to a sister size, and unfortunately there's been some problems where maybe the band was too loose or didn't quite fit as well as I would have hoped, should it have been in my correct size. So with Siren, I was actually able to get my UK 34H or US 34K. In fact, Siren starts at a 34 double F, which is a little bit lower than what you see on some of their other styles. So I'm really excited that they're branching out to include a little bit more in the 34 offerings. So the 34 band fits comfortably snug on the loosest set of hooks. It doesn't feel like it's too binding, but it feels nice and anchored and supportive. The cup size is also pretty good. I have a little bit of overflow on the larger side, but it's very, very, very minor. I feel like this might just be more related to the overall fabric rather than to the actual cup size. But if you do find yourself between sizes in Panache or in Sculptress, you may want to get the size up just to be safe. So a lot of times with plus size bras, especially plus size full bust bras, the tendency is for more coverage. You see higher gores in the center, you see much taller cups, and I like that Sculptress is trying to branch out into new styles. And in general, I have to applaud Panache for doing the same thing. For a while there, if you wore Panache, it was probably because you were a Panache person, and if you couldn't wear it, then almost everything in their entire collection just wasn't going to work for you. They had very similar shapes. In the last couple seasons, they've really gone out of their way to provide their customers with a larger range. And I think that's really nice because it gives more people the opportunity to try the brand and see if they have some offerings for them. Siren is no different. It's a little bit narrower in the center and you have a little bit more depth in the center cups, but then the side has more of a swooped angled underwire, so it does come back a little bit far for me. I have about maybe 2 fingers worth of space between where the underwire stops here and where my breast tissue begins. As I mentioned in other videos, this is not necessarily a problem for me, provided that it doesn't create any issues where when I move my arms, the cup on the sides pulls into my under area. In the case of Siren, this is not a problem. The underwire sits a little bit lower, I think, than some of the other Panache offerings I've seen. The fabric here on the side has a little bit of softness and stretch to it, so it gives with the body as you move. And even though it is wide, and that's why it's creating a couple other minor fit quibbles, like this one right here. I don't know if you can see on the video, but there's definitely a little bit of space, again, just created because the underwire is more angled, and I need more something that's a little bit U-shaped. But it's really comfortable. I don't feel the fabric in my arms. I feel actually like it's got really good support on the side for me. Like it's keeping everything contained and in the cup. And it's still giving me a really nice forward, rounded, projected shape, which is typically what I prefer. I also love that they are starting to do more with a plunge shape. As I mentioned, sometimes with the plus size it tends to be more coverage, but for me this can also create a secondary issue because I have connective tissue between my breasts. They're very, very close set. And in those styles that tend to go a little higher, especially if they hardtack, which Panache usually does, it can create pain over the course of the day from where that wire is pressing in, not only to the tissue but into the sternum itself. So having a plunge shape can really avoid that problem and give you a more comfortable fit. Siren also has a very interesting cup. So when I typically talk about a Panache 4-section, we're thinking more along the lines of, a side panel, vertical seam separating 2 lower sections, and then an upper panel. Siren's like, no, we're doing something totally different. We have these cool, triangular 3-section cup on the bottom that alternate between this sort of 2-ply mesh and smooth fabric here, and then a 2-ply mesh and then exterior lace fabric here. And then that lace is echoed here on the top of the cup as well, so it creates a different sort of take on your standard 4-section cup. I think it's a little bit closer conceptual-wise to a 3-section style because it doesn't really have anything that mimics the side panel as much. But overall, it still kind of manages to capture that same really lifted and rounded and projected shape that you expect from Panache, but it does so in a wildly innovative and creative way. I love when manufacturers step out of the box and they try to do something different than their normal frames. And Siren is an excellent example of why this is important and how it can succeed so well. As with a lot of the Sculptress bras, it also boasts that encapsulated wing style. So instead of a standard power mesh or even like a 2-ply power mesh, it's got this really soft, almost like satiny like fabric that's very smooth. Most of the elastic is contained on the inside, so not only does it feel great against your skin, but it also gives you a much nicer profile along the side and the back. I'd really like to see this implemented more in Panache's Super Bra or Clio line because I think it's a very smart decision. We live in the South, it's very hot. People are very concerned about the idea of a back fat issue, particularly when the temperatures are warm and the clothes are thin. And this style of wing is really great at combating that problem while also giving you that added security and lift. They also do their standard sort of half felted, half regular fully adjustable strap. The partially felted part can sometimes be a little difficult to get over. You might have to wiggle it a little bit, but the advantage of the felt is that it does not only reduce the stretch of the strap, but it also tends to make it harder for that strap to sort of fold or crease or dig into your shoulders. This is really important in those cups where you have a fuller cup size and a fuller band because the tissue gets very heavy and it can easily dominate and press into the shoulders and create those grooves. So good on Panache for making sure that you have that adjustability, but that it's also smartly designed to prevent that digging later on in the future. The materials on this are really nice. As I mentioned, the wings are really soft. I think that the cup shape here is a little bit more closed in on top, mostly because this doesn't have as much stretch as you would see. But on the flip side, lack of stretch also means more containment. So sometimes people are very concerned about trying a plunge because they're afraid that it's going to be too jiggly or that they're going to spill out the center. But when it's like nice and controlled like this, you don't have to worry. It's going to stay put. It's going to keep the tissue contained and keep it held for you throughout the day. So I think that's not a bad choice for them. But if you do wind up having like more fluctuations or if you have a lot of asymmetry, you may be better off looking at something like either Chi Chi, which has that all over stretch lace, or Candy, which has kind of like a stretch mesh. Those might just be a little bit better suited for your shape. So even though I have that width issue here, I really love this bra. It's really comfortable. I also think it's really pretty, which kind of shocks me because a black bra, I'm fine. I love black bras. Beige bras, like I own one, which is actually the Panache Petra. I don't wear very many light colored tops, so it's not really an issue, but I wore beige for so long that it feels nice to just keep branching out from it. Plus I feel like, you know, beige is one of those things where you can only do so much with it, and a lot of times it tends towards being kind of yellowy, or it's like a kind of ugly color, to be quite honest with you. But this one is really pretty. It's almost got like a pinky kind of cream color to it. I am very, very pale, and it matches my skin tone almost perfectly. That's really nice because I feel like sometimes I'm so pale that I don't have, like, even the regular beige colors can be a little bit dark for me. Again, it's not usually a problem because I don't wear very much white. But the flip side of that is, if it's perfect for my skin tone and I'm really pale, if you're darker than me, which most people are, it's not going to have as much of that smooth transition, so it's going to have more contrast. And at the time of this video, they don't have another color available. So I know that sometimes when a manufacturer introduces a new style, they have to balance between maybe they have to pick either the lighter or the dark option. I know, like in the case of Hetty, for example, in their Clio line, they went with the black color. But I hope that the Siren has enough of a following that it catches on enough that maybe they could do something mid-tone, like the Cappuccino and their Chi Chi, and then maybe something even a little darker, like a Mocha, because this really would make a great practical everyday bra. And I mean, I think it's really pretty. Like I said, I love that they did this like triangular lower cup shape, and you have the little lace, and it's honestly a really like sophisticated, elegant style, which is also another good point because it's like a $72 bra. So it's a higher end price point again. Well, I wouldn't say higher end, I say we're moving more towards this as normal. Plus size bras are a little more expensive design, and full bust plus size bras are even more expensive. So I think that they really balanced not only the innovative design and the materials, but also with a price point that befits all of those things. So overall, I can't say enough good things about the Siren. If you're in their line, definitely check it out. I hope to see maybe an implementation of this maybe in Clio or their Super Bra line in the future, because there's a lot of really good elements to it that I think would work well for women or people in the 28, 30, or 32 band sizes too. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to email me at sophisticatedpair@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our blog, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest for all the latest news and event information. Thanks for watching!